Hey guys, welcome to the Silver Report. Today is Sunday, February 5th, 2017. Gold is currently trading at $1,220.50. Silver is trading at $17.59. And let's get directly into the economic factors that are going to be playing in. What we're seeing right now is a massive shift, a major dynamic shift of the entire economy in the United States. And it's very serious. Since Clinton, the United States has adopted the strong dollar policy. Now, many of you might not even know what that means. We think just a strong dollar is good, but this is a policy where the United States economy would be switched over to consumerism. Thus, a strong dollar would give them the ability to purchase foreign goods cheap, to be able to spend more and purchase more. So essentially, our economy got switched over to using dollars. Pretty much. It's just that became our only asset. And so this was intentional. Since the Clinton administration, our economy is now entirely dependent on consumption. We are watching massive losses in the retail sector, which is why this is extremely concerning. Our economy is not built for manufacturing anymore. It was a direct, intentional switch over to consumerism. The drops in retail, brick and mortar stores, and online, this is largely due to the fact that we had a surplus in money when it was converted. Now the wealth has been transferred to other nations. Velocity of currency movement is imperative to the survival of this form of a monetary system, which is why we saw stimulus checks being sent out before the 2008 crisis to taxpayers. You remember that when they sent everybody a stimulus check, everyone was excited. Do you know why they did that? Do you think it's because they just wanted to give you money? No, we were in some serious economic problems, and the issue was that people were not spending. Bernanke saw this. It was an attempt to encourage spending. It's a major problem. He even wrote about it before it happened. And it led inevitably to a massive global collapse that we saw in 2008. We see in 2016 something very dangerous that is happening. The velocity of cash flows in the United States have dropped to dangerous levels. It's signaling a massive collapse of the system on the horizon. That's because mainly our economy has been converted over to a system that is unsustainable because at some point you need to have actual wealth to purchase. And it's been a system to strip away the independent wealth of the citizenry in the United States. Despite just going through the holiday season, we saw spending was down. We saw money velocity dropped from June 2015, whereas at 1.51%, which is extremely low, to the same quarter in 2016, where it was down to 1.44%. Compare that to 1997, before all this was adopted and taken hold. Velocity of money was around 2.2%. So people were spending. It's a relatively healthy number when the U.S. adopted this doctrine. That is because during the course of this gap, the wealth of the United States has been redistributed to other countries. These numbers are dropping. That means people are holding on to their money. And why shouldn't they be? Despite what they're telling you on your real news sites, people are holding onto their money. Their policies to stimulate the economy included even increasing the currency supply by 400%. Yet the people aren't spending the money. The people also have amassed massive personal debt. And this is very dangerous for the economy. Our economy is stagnant. The average debt per household in the United States, we'll start just credit card debt alone, is $16,061 per household. That's the average. What the average American household owes in personal credit card debt right now, that's a total of $747 billion. Worse, mortgages, per household average is $172,000. I'm sorry, $172,806 total. In the U.S., that's about $8.35 trillion. Auto loans, the average for each American household, to $28,535, a total of $1.14 trillion. Student loans for each American household, that's $49,042. That's $1.28 trillion. And we know from recent revelations they were underreporting student loan debt because this problem is very serious. Someone mentioned the bank stocks being the winner in this Trump rally and that it's silly to own precious metals. That is because they own massive amounts of the citizens' income. The dangers no one is talking about is the money they printed went to the banks. The money is gone, not circulating. The average American, so the problem that caused the 2008 crisis, the underlying problem was the fact that consumers were not spending and that the economy is entirely dependent on consumer spending. That's where our GDP comes from. And so the problem is this money they printed is sitting in these banks, these massive banks. The money is gone. The average American is trying to get by. Either that or trying to avoid answering the phone because of creditors knocking down their door. More than add more money by mandate taken for more expensive healthcare costs or tax refunds that we were supposed to get back from the government. They take by means of a lien, have the IRS come directly in and take your tax refund for not having health insurance or violating their mandate to purchase their product. So even less money is circulating. Most people who can afford health insurance, or according to their figures, make too much to be able to get any kind of reduced rate, are paying astronomical rates and not having enough coverage. They're not being treated. And thus, everyone who has the capability to hire or get in to become an entrepreneur is now having money siphoned from them, businesses siphoned from them. The real issue is lurking in the darkness, thanks to our wonderfully informative news coverage in the United States. And this is why a lot of people believe the hype. They believe in what they're hearing on their business news channels. Because the problem they're not talking about, even though they handed out the stimulus checks, they didn't really give you the real reason, was that money velocity was down to a dangerous level during those times, and it caused a massive crash. This is what forms bubbles. But thanks to our great news coverage we have in the United States, this is the reason GDP is at a standstill for growth. Because the gas tank is on E. That's what it means. The people, the average American household doesn't have $1,000 in savings. Where does velocity come from when people are just trying to make the rent, just trying to pay their bills, just trying to afford food as we see this massive inflation setting in? And the fact that money is not circulating, despite the fact that they've printed so much, that means this money is off in the sidelines, this vast amounts of paper that will devalue the currency. I know I brought it up before, but during World War II, the German army had the same kind of a system. America was on the gold standard at that point, but they had the same kind of system where they could print money at will. And what they did during the war in order to finance their war efforts was to print more Deutschmarks. And during the war, the people did not really feel the impact. But as soon as the war had ended, and that currency began to make its way into circulation, they eventually were using it for wallpaper, or to just burn it in their stoves to keep warm, to keep from freezing to death, because it had no value whatsoever. And because we have almost zero money velocity taking place in the United States, which is a severe problem, that means we're heading for a massive economic crisis, a collapse, because it creates bubbles, because there are sectors where these big financiers, during the 2008 crisis, a lot of this money, the money goes wherever there's a profit to be made. There was a law signed where you didn't need high credit to get a mortgage loan. All of a sudden, all of this money goes right into the mortgage industry, despite the fact that these people can't pay, despite the fact that these are going to be toxic mortgages, because that's where the wealth can be made. So whenever there's restrictions on velocity of money, the money goes wherever money can be made. And what we see, we have a banking bubble. Why is all of this money going into the banking? Because the people no longer have money to pay these debts. They're not making money. These jobs that are being created are in the service industry, and we see massive layoffs through retail. So we know these jobs at minimum wage, these retail entry-level jobs are not enough to pay off this kind of a debt. The problem is much more massive than they're letting on, and it's been taking place a long time. And what we're going to see in the immediate future, because of some of these policies that they're discussing, are a reshaping of the U.S. economy back to where it was, which is manufacturing, a reshaping of the American economy where we're making something again. This is going to be painful because the effects of what they've put in play are not going to be easily taken away, despite being overcome by debt and the massive printing of money. We are talking about reshaping America back to what it was before these damaging globalizing policies. And it's become to the point where money's not even a reality anymore. It's just an idea. And undoing that, we have a workforce that's not trained. They've trained our populace to spend money. They've trained our populace to go out and to buy. For banks taking control of the United States through deceit. And that's what we're facing right now, is a massive systemic problem of this money not circulating. That's why they measure consumer confidence, because it's a very big factor to take into play. And we are heading for a massive collapse, not only of the stock market, but of the entire economy, which is held together only by this spending, because this doctrine has been incorporated. And we're going to have some painful days ahead of us. This is why they're not telling you. They don't want to cause a panic. They don't want to cause an issue at the banks because they don't have the money. Our world is built on debt. So the only thing right now is to take steps to prepare. Prepare for what you see is taking place, because they can't make people spend who don't have money. They can't make a populace work who doesn't know how to work anymore. All they know how to do is spend. They don't know how to create anymore. They need to train an entire workforce to revive manufacturing. In the meantime, we're going to suffer in between there. And because these powers are not American powers, but global powers that are upset about this. Look at the Mexican president upset about the way Donald Trump is trying to renegotiate NAFTA, talking to the World Trade Organization, not the United States government, the World Trade Organization, saying the United States is violating. Somehow we are subservient to these world governing bodies. You need to understand, we really are. So individually, when your financial system's not working for you, this is when you take your finances into your own hands, because in reality, the price of gold and silver can't be manipulated. Only the paper price, only what it sells for right now in comparison to US dollars. But in all reality, they must print massive amounts of fake shares of silver and gold in order to manipulate that price. The real value is shown in countries like Venezuela, where it will buy a man food for weeks for 1 ounce of silver. And so don't buy into their system. Take some money, even if it's only a little bit, set it away. Make some steps to protect your family. Store food, store water. Do what you can now, because we are facing a massive economic collapse coming, and they're not telling you about it. All right, guys, thank you so much for stopping by the Silver Report. If you like the content, be sure to subscribe. There'll be more videos just like this. I thank you guys so much, everyone who leaves comments in the comment box and gives me suggestions. I learn as much from you guys as anything. I thank you so much. Like the videos if you like the content. And the real solution to all of this is that we bring an understanding to the people. We spoke a little bit about the news organization, this wonderful news coverage we have in the United States. They're not telling the people. The people are not preparing, and they are going to suffer. And the only solution to bring about real change is to awaken the masses, to take it into our own hands. So share the videos, guys. If you like the content, share the videos. It'll go a long way in waking up the masses if they are understanding the economic world around them. And I thank you guys so much for stopping by. It means so much to me. And remember, guys, stay safe. Hey guys, thanks for joining me again. I told you we had something special coming up. So what we're gonna do, I just got a nice package in the mail. Got two brand new 2017 Canadian Maples. Man, I love these coins. What a beautiful coin that is. Oh, I guess you're wondering about the title of the video. That's right. This is Free Silver February, guys. And I figured since the channel's been doing so good and picking up so many subscribers, I thought it was time to give a little something back to my audience. So for every person who subscribed, all you have to do, guys, is comment on 3 different videos the message Free Silver February. And for everybody who types the message Free Silver February in 3 different videos, each 3 videos, you're entered in for a chance to win one of these brand new silver Canadian Maples. Brand new, never touched by human hands. Well, at least since they've been in my possession. Brand new spotless coins. And they're yours, guys. I'll pay shipping. So if you want to partake in the contest, all you gotta do is be subscribed. Type in Free Silver February. I'll make it even sweeter. Every 3 videos you post that comment in, you're entered in. So there's no limit. The only limit is the amount of videos because it's gotta be on 3 separate videos. All right, and I'll make it even sweeter since the channel's been doing so well, guys. And if you're new to this channel, we talk a little bit about politics, a little bit about the current economic crisis we're facing that they're trying to ignore. It's kind of one of those fake news sites they've been warning you about. So this is what I'm going to do, guys, since it's been doing so good. If we surpass 1,000 subscribers, which I'm assuming we will, at the current rate, we'll blow past that before the end date, February 27th, 2017, I'm going to double it. So you get 2 ounces of silver, and even more than that, I'll throw in 5 mercury dimes. Absolutely free. I'll pay shipping, and we're gonna do the drawing live, guys. Good old-fashioned pull names out of a hat. You know what I mean. So here's your chance, guys. If you want to enter in, it's not that difficult for all my audience, all my faithful subscribers. Everyone who subscribed, all you have to comment is Free Silver February, and you're in. Alright, but thank you guys for joining me. This message is effective January 27th, 2017. Let the games begin.